Hello, everybody. So, today I wanted to do a video talking about a few really important topics. One of those I posted on Instagram yesterday to ask you guys a question, and a lot of people responded to it. So I wanted to answer those later on in the video, but a few things that I wanted to talk about first was, kind of just like, I guess, updates on like my mental health and where I've been at, because I've noticed that a lot of people have been getting kind of upset with me, honestly, because I've been needing to take breaks, and I've been distancing myself a little bit from the community. And I understand why that may seem like I guess what people call it is like egoing people, but I'm really not trying to do that. I genuinely just have a really hard time with keeping up with everything, and I try really hard to get a lot of things done, and I kind of overwork myself a lot, even though it might not seem like it. Like, I'm genuinely, like, always doing something behind the scenes, or, like, working a job, or doing something to, like, help with my family, or, like, maintaining, like, all the friendships that I've made. Or even just, like, with relationships in general. There's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes, and I know you guys aren't really like here specifically to like know about everything that I have going on, but I just wanted to make it apparent that I'm not like trying to be mean to anybody by taking a little while to respond or taking breaks sometimes. This honestly is just like kind of a little like outlet for me, because like I said in the other video, I'm really not good at talking to people, and I try my best to do that, but I just struggle with like communication sometimes, and this is a way for me to be able to express that. And I've learned that me talking about these issues really helps me, and a lot of people have given me support on the last video, so I wanted to continue doing things like this because I think that, like these longer forms of content, a lot of people nowadays don't really have the attention spans to keep up with longer types of videos, and I thought that maybe I would take that as an opportunity for myself to, get people used to that form of content again. Because honestly, like when I was younger, this kind of stuff really helped me. A lot of the people that I used to look up to were commentators, or people that, just like put games on in the background and just talked about shit. And yeah, I wanna be like a voice in the community. That's kind of one of my goals. So, um, yeah, so I just have a few notes here. I touched a few of the subjects that I wanted to talk about already, but, a lot of people, okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a lore update. So, I understand that I have a lot of people that are watching this video that probably have no idea, like, where I came from or even, like, who I am. So, I'm obviously, like, I play VR chat and I make music. I've been making music for a really long time, but Guapo is an alias that I started recently that, honestly, I kind of just did it for fun. I didn't really know what I was expecting out of it. It was a way for me to express myself, I guess emotionally, because I didn't really know where my own emotions stood at that point in time. And, as I've been, growing in this community and I guess growing as a person, I've learned that the reason that I do this is because, like I said in the other video, I have a lot of insecurities about myself. And, I've noticed that a lot of people that do these type of things also have insecurities about themselves. So, yeah, I think that being a person to actually like face those issues for people, like I know that I'm doing this anonymously, obviously, and if you guys figure out who I am eventually, that's fine. I don't really care that much. But I just like, I want to be somebody that helps people, and I think that, I mean, I know, I've seen it in the last video, like so many people have messaged me just about like the things that I was talking about, like they just really resonated with people, and I want to keep continuing to do that. Um, so yeah, anyways, so, sorry, I was getting off topic a little bit. Lore update. So, some of you might know this, a lot of you probably don't. when I started in this community, I was a complete nobody. I didn't really know anyone except for, one of my friends who got me into this a little bit, and their name is Shiroko. And I'm not really gonna go into all that because I really don't care for drama too much. But, um, so somebody that I met very, very early on in this community, like when I was pretty much just starting out, I'm not gonna say their name because I really just don't want to bring any more attention to it than it needs to be. But essentially what they did was they, they lied to me and they misled me and they kind of helped me like brand them up. And they didn't really like tell me about like who they were. And like I understand that, like everybody probably does this for similar reasons, but one of the reasons that they did it was a very malicious reason, and it was a very disgusting thing that they did. And I don't know everybody that was involved. I don't even know like exactly who they were behind the character that I helped them build. But because of that situation, I had to take a step back and rebrand entirely. I mean, obviously I'm still Guapo, but I had an old collective that I wanted to start prior, and obviously I'm not doing that anymore. And I've been a lot more cautious with the people that I talk to and who I work with. But, that was one of the things that happened. Like I said, I really don't want to get into it. It's pretty much over with now. I've separated myself from that person and we don't talk anymore, so I kind of just want to move on from it. But another thing that happened, I guess kind of recently, was I was honestly just in general in that time frame just in a really, really bad state of mind. And I honestly still kind of am. I've been working a lot on myself and like how I handle problems and how I approach situations, logistically rather than emotionally. Obviously I still slip up sometimes and I have outbursts or, like I said, I am an emotional person, so I can do things that might not be the best decisions in the moment, but I've been trying to get better at that. And one of the things obviously that has helped me get better with that is talking about it, which is why I do this. And distancing myself because, like this community is very it's very toxic, I'll be honest. I think a lot of the people in this community are young and they really don't have a lot of life experience, which is completely understandable. I'm pretty young myself. Like I said before, I'm 21 years old. And I'm not like fucking like unk status or anything. I mean, shit, I might be now. It's fine, whatever. But, like some people in this community, they're very young. Like, I've met people in this community that were, like under the age of 18. And I've noticed that, some of the topics that I talk about in my songs might not be the best things to talk about in my songs. But I realize that, like, at the same time, like, at the end of the day, bro, this is just VR chat, like, this is just the internet. We're just doing this for fun. And I would honestly much rather have, I would much rather influence people to, like, like, talk shit online and, like, smoke blunts in VR chat and, like, like, sip weed in VR and, tote guns and all that bullshit. I would much rather have them do that than do it in real life. Because, like, that's a very serious issue that, like, I mean, honestly, the world is facing. I mean, there's so much evil in the world now, and I really want to, be somebody that can hopefully influence a change. Like, I'm not saying that I'm gonna be the next fucking, like, Jesus Christ or anything, but, like, I want to make an impact, even if it is small. I want to be able to bring positivity to people and show people that, like, that these situations, like, are so much bigger than, like, what we make them out to be, like, I mean, there's just a lot of beef that happened yesterday, and honestly, like, like, it's funny, but, like, what is that really doing to ourselves? We're kind of just, like, lowering ourselves to standards that we shouldn't be at, like, we're taking things too literally, and we should be, taking this time to, like, actually, like, help people instead of just, like, shit talk and, like, like, it's not helping anyone. Like, negativity is just such a bad thing to be around, and I've learned that from a lot of, previous mistakes, and I just don't want to be around that energy. So, yeah, I guess that's a little bit of a reason as to why I'm kind of just like doing my own thing now and trying to surround myself around more positive people. Um, but yeah, that's honestly all the things that I wanted to talk about. Just kind of to kick this video off. I don't even know how long it's been. Let me look. 10 minutes, great. We're already at the fucking 10-minute mark. That's awesome. So, I asked a very serious question yesterday to my community on Instagram, and that question was invoked because it was something that I had to personally face at one point in my life, and I have a friend who is also facing some very serious complications in their life, and I'm not going to go into the details because that's very personal, and I'm not trying to call anybody out by any means. I just genuinely wanted to ask this question because it was something that, like I said, I had to face, and I think other people, yes, obviously everybody's gonna have to face this at some point in their life, but some people might not realize how soon it may be. So I wanted to, ask this question. So the question was, if you knew when and how you were going to die, what would you do with that information? Now, I have quite a few responses. I asked my community not to put joke responses, but like I said, a lot of people in this community are young, so I understand that not a lot of people would be able to even process that question, which is fine. I'm not asking anyone to. I'd rather, get the chance to speak about it myself than have somebody get mad over it or, get uncomfortable with the question. So I'm gonna, take the time on my behalf. First, I wanna read some of the responses. So honestly, I don't know if I should shout people out. Okay, just out of respect, I'm not gonna shout anybody out. I don't know if anybody wants me to shout them out, but I don't want to take that chance. So I'm gonna read all these questions. I'm gonna give my input to their answer. I'm gonna read all the answers. I'm gonna give my input, and then I'm going to answer the question how I personally view life. So the first answer is live my life to the fullest, and anytime I see a chance, I would take it in a heartbeat. Now, that is something that I agree with. I think that is a really good positive outlook on being met with an earlier life. Or even, like a long one. It really doesn't matter. Everybody kind of operates on their own time clock. Like life, honestly, dude, I'm not a therapist. I'm not God. I can't tell you what the meaning of life is. That's something that you're gonna have to figure out on your own time. But what I've come to learn personally is, life is really just about like, this is such a hard topic, man. It's so hard. Okay, actually, I have a better idea. I'm gonna give you guys, you guys can write this down. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but if you want to watch something that is, like a really good informative video, search up Vsauce and look at his videos. It's a pretty recent one. I think the video title is called All the Ghosts You Will Be. And I think that is a great, that is such a good video to watch on this topic. Like, it gave me such a good outlook on, life. You will be forgotten. That is essentially the point of the video. And, that isn't meant to affect you negatively. It's honestly meant to affect you positively. Because, what's the point of trying so hard to please everyone that doesn't even care about you when you're not even gonna be remembered? You shouldn't be worried about making everybody happy. You should honestly just be focused on, caring about the people that care about you, because that's all you really have at the end of the day. All this shit is temporary, bro. I make music about flexing, and I make music about, having money, but honestly, bro, I'm just a normal person, I work a job, I have mental health problems, and I'm a fucking, VTuber rapper, bro, at the end of the day, we're all just people, and I think that we should really take the time to, reflect on ourselves, because that's all we have at the end of the day. We only have people that care about us, and I think it's really important to give that same energy back to, honestly, you guys can take that information how you want to take it, but how I like to look at it is, I like to give it out to everybody, even if they are also negative, because I think that everybody deserves love. And I think that negative people have been treated very unfairly in their lives. And I know it's really hard to look at it that way, but it's true. Something that I've learned very early on in my life, and honestly really only started paying attention to somewhat recently, is that, bullies and like people who just like are mean, they do it because they're hurt. And like, you can say what you want about bullies, I know nobody really likes them, but I think they honestly need it the most. They need that care the most because, it's coming from a place of hurt. Um, and it's really sad that I think it's really sad that people genuinely think that life is miserable because it doesn't have to be like that. There's so much beauty in life that is waiting to be discovered at like literally every inch. Like I have an example that I can share with you guys. So the other day, I was out with some of my family members and we were having dinner and I had kind of, an issue come up where I had to take a step away and I had to go home because, um, they were talking about things that I struggle with and I didn't really want to face that problem in the moment. So when I got home, I was very upset and I was actually locked outside of my house because I forgot to bring my keys. So I was kind of just sitting on the porch. My phone was dead. I was waiting for my family to get back. And I know this is something that a lot of people probably wouldn't really care to look at. And the thing that I noticed was there was an ant that was trapped in a spider web. And I was just kind of watching him. And I think it was really interesting because, like I could have taken the time to, what's it called? No, sorry, I'm getting off track. What I noticed, the bigger picture, was that this ant knew that he was going to die. He was trapped in a spider web, and there was probably a spider waiting for him to eat him. Yet, despite all of this, like despite the ant knowing that he was literally going to die, like most likely, right? He still chose to try to fight and get out of that spider web. And, I just kind of like really thought about that, and I made the realization that just because I'm in a tough spot in life right now, it doesn't mean that I'm caught in a spider web, Like, different, I have so many different avenues to discover and so many different experiences to experience, even if they're bad. And I want to, I genuinely want to. I genuinely love life. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to be able to say because I would not have said that a month or two ago. And it's really unfortunate that I was in a spot where I genuinely thought that death was the answer. But you guys really helped me discover that that wasn't the answer. And I just want to say that I appreciate that a lot. Even if you guys think that you didn't do much for me, the support that you guys have given me really, really helps. And I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Sorry, that was a really long response. Okay, I guess I already answered the question how I wanted to answer it, but I'm gonna keep reading these other answers just because, I think that everybody deserves a voice, even if it might not be the best time in their lives right now. So somebody said, now honestly, this kind of concerns me a little bit, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not saying that I'm a therapist, but I've definitely been in spots where I needed a therapist, and I'm honestly okay, yeah, I'll be honest, like, I am going to therapy. I'm definitely not an emotionally grounded person, and that's okay. So I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about this response. Somebody said, I know how I want to die. It's just a matter of when. But honestly, I have fully accepted death. Now, first and foremost, before I start making assumptions, I do want to say that I know how I want to die kind of concerns me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. If you are struggling with something, I would highly encourage you to please like, I know this sounds so cliche, but please talk to somebody. Even if you don't have anybody that you think will support you, I promise you, like, somebody will. And honestly, like, if you need to talk to somebody, you can hit me up. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're struggling with. I don't know what you're going through. But, I will try my best to hear you. And like I said, I'm not claiming to be a therapist. I'm in no way, shape, or form in a position of authority to tell you what to do with your life. However, if you are struggling, I would highly encourage you to please talk to somebody, because I promise you, like, dude, like there's so many things to experience, bro. Like that, you just don't understand. Like, and that's the thing that's so sad about people that choose to die so early on. It's so sad because they're just so young and they just don't understand like what they're signing up for. And I do want to say this as well. A lot of you, honestly, I don't even know how true this is myself, but it's something that I heard before. And honestly, it's something that I've personally experienced. Um, that thing is the last thing that everybody feels when they're about to pass away is, well, first of all, you think about everybody that you love. I know that is one thing from experience. And secondly, the last thing that you feel is regret, especially if it's self-inflicted. And again, that is also something that I have also experienced, and I'm very grateful that it didn't work out. However, I want to talk about it because some people might not understand that. I promise you that is not the road to go down. Okay, next question. Next answer, sorry. Well, I wouldn't want to know how I would die, but if I know when, I'd live my life the fuck up until then. Hell yeah, that's the energy that I want to hear. Live that shit up. Don't do it in a bad way. Cause, okay, somebody also said on here, I want to read this too. So, somebody said, where is it at? Okay, they said, I would do some Breaking Bad shit and get money for my family. Okay, bro, I wanted to talk about this. This is something that I wanted to talk about, because this is one of the moments where I can actually, like, influence somebody for the greater good. Bro, have you even watched the ending of Breaking Bad? Like, did you even understand the message from that? Like, sorry, I'm not trying to, like, be mean and, like, call you out. But, like, genuinely, like, Breaking Bad, I've seen Breaking Bad. I've watched all of it, and I've watched all of Better Call Saul as well. Breaking Bad is such a powerful story because it literally shows you that, I mean, it's literally in the title, Breaking Bad. Why would you want to do that to yourself? It's so sad. He had everything in his life that he ever could have wanted, and yet he still chose greed. I think that you shouldn't choose greed. I don't think I don't think that's the option that you want to go and do personally. Obviously you are your own person. I can only be a voice. However, I'm telling you that I don't think that greed is the option you should take. I think that love is the option you should take. If you decide, no, sorry, not decide. If you are in a position where you knew how you're going to die, I think that the last things that you should do is, like I said, care about everybody around you and do your best to spread positivity in every way that you possibly can. Okay. So, there was a few other answers, but I don't want to drag this out for too long. It's already been 24 minutes. And honestly, all the other answers were pretty much like everything that I've already responded to. I promise you I've read all of them. So, and like, I didn't shout anybody out in the first place just because of this. So I just wanted to say, like, I promise you, like, I read everything that you guys send me. Like, it means so much to me. Even if, like, I might not be able to respond to it right away or whatever it may be, like, I will, like, heart the message or, like, just look at it. And, like I said, I watch everything. So just a few other things that I wanted to talk about right before I end this video is future goals, alright? So I have a few of those. Talked a little bit about those on the previous video, but these are my current, like, short-term goals. I have 3 of them right now. And I think it's also important to create goals for yourself. So if you don't know what you want to do with your life, I hope that like I can inspire you to like figure that out, because honestly, I've learned that like um it's honestly not that hard. Like just think about what you genuinely love doing. Like it's the most simplest things, and just figure out how to fulfill the simplicity. Sorry, not simplicity. Figure out how to fulfill those, even if they're simple or even if they're broad. Like for me, I like helping people, so I chose to do this route because it's what I saw in my immediate path. Okay, so yeah, future goals. Number 1, I want to share my advice for the younger generation. That's what I'm doing. I already talked about that a little bit earlier. Number 2 is helping contain violence inside of VR chat. Again, something that I'm doing. Now obviously violence is never the answer. If you have the willpower to, please don't be mean to people. Like, don't go around and bully people because you don't know what they're going through. However, like, if you don't have that self-control, like, I would honestly, like, I'd much rather people do it in VR chat than in real life, because in real life it's a different story. Like, that's fucked up. You should never be hurting people in real life. You should never be hurting people, period. But, at least it's in VR chat, like, you can just fucking turn the game off, bro. Like, that's what people need to learn. Just fucking turn the shit off, man. And then obviously, number 3, hoping that my story can inspire others and help myself as well. Now, I haven't gone too much into my story. I do plan on going into that more in the future. It is a very hard topic to talk about. So as I make these videos, I do hope that it gets easier. But yeah, that is my daily Guapo advice. So, well, this isn't probably going to be a daily thing, I'm going to be honest. That's why I'm doing these in such long videos, because I want to, quality over quantity, right? So yeah, I'll just keep it more of a general consensus, and I don't even know if I can commit to this, but weekly Guapo advice, be positive. Alright, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about, really. I appreciate you guys for watching, and again, I read everything that you guys send me, so if you guys feel the need to talk about anything, please feel free to reach out. I promise you I will read it. Again, I cannot promise that I can respond to everything, but I can promise that I read everything. So thank you guys so much, and, I don't know what I want to do. Oh yeah, I have a song with somebody coming out pretty soon. It's pretty cool. I posted about it on my Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you guys will see that in the future, for sure. That shit is gas. And I also made another song. Well, I'm making another song with somebody else at the moment. Their name is Sonico. Shout out Sonico. They're pretty cool. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Thank you guys.